Okay, so welcome to our webinar. This is the third webinar for the beginners. Backtesting, it's a very important way of testing yourself, your strategy, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Okay, let's go through very important stuff, which is risk disclosure. So you have to control your risk. If you don't control your risk, you may lose all your money, so be careful. A few words about STL. The main office is London and Limassol in Cyprus. London, the London I'm talking about is in UK, not the London, Ontario. Okay, why trading with STL? There is a balance protection. STL warranty that your balance will never go below zero. There's two regulations, FCA and CySEC. The FCA is more strict, and it's outside European Union right now, I guess. Oh, sorry, I skip information. All clients' funds are insured by two companies. So we have regulations, balance protection, insure clients' funds, and we have a segregated account. What's that mean is that your money is on your account and nobody else can use it. Every Wednesday we have a trading room. I'm sorry, but tomorrow it's not going to be because I'm flying around 10 back to Playa del Carmen, so I'm not going to be able to talk to you from the airplane. So, but every Wednesday we have a trading room from 14:30 to 1800 Central European Standard Time. Trading room is open to anyone that has a real account with STL. It's not necessary deposit of $1,000. As long as you have a decent money on your account, you can take the part of trading room. And you have to be registered under my name. The best way is to go to my website and click on the icon on the right-hand side, which is the STL logo, and you'll be moved to STL website, and you're going to be registered under my name. Very short reminder what we have done. We have been talking about Forex market size, liquidity. It's the most liquid market in the world. It's the biggest market in the world. It's $5.5 trillion. Easy to entry. You don't need big money. You can start with approximately $300 or so. The profit potentials are huge. If the prices are moving, sometimes it moves very far, depending on the pair of the currencies as well. Trading hours, we have 24 hours a day, 5.5 days a week, so it's very open market. The leverage, this is the only market that gives you leverage of up to 500 to 1. The cost of trading it's nothing. It's just a spread between two prices, bid and ask, and depending on the account you open with the STO, you may have 1.9 pips or 90 macro pips. That's what I call it, and which is in full lot will be $19. But as soon as the price is moving higher or lower, according to your position, it costs nothing. And depending on the account, some of the accounts have a zero spread, but there is a commission which is, I think it's around $5 per lot, so it's not much depending on the account you choose. Quickly, I'll show you. This is the link for the under FCA regulation. So stof.co.uk. You go to the site and you're going to see open real account or free demo. And then you have to fill up registration, of course. You're going to have your own country, not Mexico. So you have to fill up the form, and you're going to have access to 300 plus instruments. 6 CFD access classes, tight spreads from 0. That's just like I said, and the leverage up to 500. When you fill up this form, you're going to get email with the account number and the password, and then you're going to be able to load trading platform MT4. Okay, sorry. Let's go to platform. The MT4 platform is very well known. I trade all my career for the past 11 years on MT4, and I use some of the functions. So today's subject is backtesting. It's MT4 has internal tester, and it's made specifically for testing automatic programs. It's called EAs. So trading, just like any other things in life, can be improved upon with experience. And this is often where the new traders fail. So they always ask question, is learning to trade profitably worth my time? Well, probably most of the traders, when they play with the game or without any knowledge, they're finding very exciting and adrenaline pushing trading. And the problem is that anything in your life, trading is just like anything in your life. You have to gain experience. You have to test yourself. Imagine doctor, brain surgeon that goes to do surgery on somebody's brain without any experience or any knowledge. Imagine what's going to happen. Or pilot without any experience sitting on the front of the plane and try to take off with the 350 people on board. Imagine that. It's dangerous. And same thing, trading without any gaining any experience is it costs you not life but costs you money, and it's your hard-earned money that you don't want to lose. One of the methods which was developed by Rice traders almost 300 years ago it's called paper trading. They use pricing and they put on a paper and they try to test and gain experience during the open market hours, and that's what we should do. Well, we have access to, it's called demo account, which is wonderful tool. Of course, it's not realistic and it doesn't involve you psychological, emotional part, but that's okay. In my teaching, I always break experience on two parts. First part is that you have to gain technical experience, which is getting knowledge of your strategy. You have to be expert on your strategy, and then how you recognize your signals. Of course, you may use your automatic programs, but that doesn't apply to you as a manual trader, mechanical trader. So demo, it's very nice way of getting experience. The drawback from demo is that it takes a long time to gain that experience, to get that knowledge. You know, sometimes you have to wait for, if you're trading daily time frames, it will take you forever to gain your experience. So you have to do somehow test yourself a lot quicker, recognize the points, and one of the method is removing automatic scrolling from your chart, which is those two icons on the side, and then scroll back and try to recognize it. The problem with this method is your subconscious register all the changes right away. Keep in mind that subconscious register every second of our life, and then when you're scrolling back and you try to simulate your trading you'll see what is happening on the right side right away. So you subconscious register and you know already what's going to happen. So this method, it always fails. Today I'm going to show you test function which is included in a MT4 platform. That tester is intended to use for automatic trading software, which is those EAs we call it. But what we can do is we can utilize that tester to test ourselves and sort of without scrolling the chart, we can start from any day that we want, and we can sort of simulate our trading by, let's say, marking, for example, okay, I'm going to open short position here, my stop loss will be here, and then let's see what's going to happen, right? So if I'm going to scroll it, there you go. I can see it candle by candle. I can see it will happen. And that's what basically the tester is for. So what we're going to do is we're going to view, and there is a strategy tester, or you can use shortcut Control plus a letter R. And then we have on the bottom showing Expert Advisor, which is the default sample of MACD sample EA. And this is how you can test yourself, basically. And there is, of course, we can choose the pair that we want to test. For example, we're using, for the time being, we're going to use Euro US dollar. This is the most precise method of testing. The problems with this tester is, sorry, I will set current, okay. The problem with the tester is with automatic programs, the problem is when you're testing them, they not really perform as they're supposed to be, because keep in mind that the spread change over time. The more volume on the market, the spread getting wider. And that's what this tester is not including, but we can always simulate somehow the higher spread, and this is where you can do spread here. Current is the one that we have right now, which is very low on a STO, which is less than 1 pip, but I can pick how many macro pips I can use. So let's say I can use 30, and I can, I'm not going to optimize for the time being, but you can learn how to do it. And then there is another method, control points, which is very crude, very quick method to test, and then I can start testing, and then goes and test. There you go. When you hear that sound, you know that test is done, and as you can see the results. Of course, that sample strategy, it fails. It doesn't give us too much profit, as you can see. Gross profit $930, and on the minus side we have $1,480, which is not really a good strategy. But what we're going to talk about today is it's utilizing this tester to test for our manual strategies. This is the strategy that you're going to use day by day in manual trading. You know, you're observing the time frame and you looking for the signals. Let's say for example, we're looking for a candlestick formation, and then we can work accordingly on that part. But what we're going to do is, let's say, there is other options here. You can use the date from to, but before we do that, when you open demo account, you're going to have a very small amount of data with it. So what we can do is we can load more information. We're going to History Center, And then we have showing us all the pairs. We have US Canadian. Sorry, I was testing that. Okay, well, let's go to US Canadian, for example. Okay, sorry. We're going to change that to US dollar Canadian. Where are you? US dollar Canadian, my favorite. Excuse me, my favorite. And so we're going to History Center. And then if you have a limited amount of data on 1 hour chart, you can just import and sorry, you can download from the server. Of course, I have it's not going to load it because I have that platform from last year, so I have quite a bit of data here. But it will, if you have demo account with limited amount, we'll load it full amount for probably 1 year or so. So it's very easy to test. Oops, my mouse almost flew. So we can use right from the beginning, and there is something that's called visual mode. That's what I'm interested with. What we're going to do, we're going to simulate our trading. Just like I mentioned, when we scrolled it, okay, when we start with a platform and we disable the auto scrolling, if we're going to look for it, just like I told you, your subconscious will record it, everything, and it's going to be very difficult for you to trade with open mind because you're going to know how the changes will occur, and that's not how we're going to test ourselves or test our strategy. The simple way is we're going to access the visual mode, and we're going to start that testing, of course. As you can see, it starts from the date of 5th of June. Well, I already have that data already here, but we can modify. I will stop it for the time being, and we can modify this from, let's say, any day that we want. We can start, let's say, from March 1st until today date, and then we can start testing. Basically, it will show us that chart, which is offline chart, and this is what we see here. Now, how we can test anything else here, it's very simple. You remember when I showed you that there is a possibility of save templates where we set up our charts, change the colors using the indicators that we would like to use. This is a very convenient way of just downloading the setup for the template, and we don't have to go one by one changes. Sometimes it's very time consuming. So I already have blank with RSI. As you can see, now I have a chart showing my indicator starts from here 14 days before, 14 days before, and I can see what's going to happen. Now, my technique which I'm using is I'm using specific levels, I'm using trend lines, and I'm using RSI. I call that a momentum trading. But as you can see, I have totally different setup from my expert advisor. What I'm interested is I'm interested with see what's going to happen next. I don't scroll back, and I have no idea what information I'm going to have on the front of me. So this is like a real market simulation. So we're going to start. There we go. I'm going to stop this. As you can see, the default chart setting is the bars. We can change to candlesticks, but what I would like to do is I'm using my template and blank with RSI, which I have that already. So my visual simulation is I'm looking for the situations that I can trade, I can see, for example, I can draw the trend line. This is, for example, the trend line. I can draw my levels, which I'm interesting. Okay, let's move them a little bit further down. So this will be 34.5, and I'm going to have another level. I'm going to change the line. And this is going to be, oops. So this is going to be my round number, which is 35. So this is my way of trading, and I have those levels already here. Of course, you can go even further. You can draw levels anywhere you want. And the idea behind this test is to prove my knowledge of my strategy. Keep in mind that you always have to have a plan. Describe how you're going to trade, when you open the position, what conditions you're going to use to open position, and how you're going to monitor your position, and then when you're going to close. So when you have written the plan of your trading, it's much easier because you are following your guidance. You know, our mind is always occupied with the charts, and you see when you start trading, you start concentrating on specific situations, and you're going to concentrate on probably on this area. You're not going to look over here. The trading is not only looking on the last few candles, it's also looking how the previous swings was formed and how the candle reflecting on those swings. And that's very important part because give us support and resistance. I define the 3 different levels of support and resistance, and then going to be able to trade. Now the visual testing is, okay, I have here, visual testing is start testing, and my visual, I can adjust the speed of changing the candles. As you can see, simulates just like real market. So before I do that, okay, I see the potential changes. You remember, so let's wait for this candle to close. So one of the conditions trading with a trend line is when the price breaks through, I have to have a confirmation that price will continue to go higher. And pay attention to RSI as well. As you can see, we are in the bottom of upper trend, and see what's going to happen. Let's see, I'll accelerate a little bit. There you go. So I have a signal now that I can, actually, it's a strong move to the upside. So what I do is I'm using horizontal lines to indicate where I'm going to open the position. And of course, I'm going to use different colors to imitate my position. I'm going to use this one. And of course, the stop loss. Okay, I'm going to use solid lines. It's much easier. It's going to be easier on your eyes. So now I have sorry, I'm going to move properly the stop loss. So this is my stop loss. This is my open position, and my stop loss is 20 pips. Look, it's a strong move. I can see formation. Look, I have what is that? Do you know what this formation is? Just think about it. All right, so this is confirmation that we're going to have a strong move. and let's see what's going to happen. Okay, now you can see the position was taken over by a MACD sample, but that's relevant. We're not paying attention to that. Do you remember what I told you in the long candles where the support resistance is? 50% of the candle, and split candles. I'll accelerate a little bit. So as you can see, I opened my position, the price went higher. Now I can simulate moving my stop loss just a little bit below, few pips below the split candle. So the first, my stop loss, my first support resistance will be on the 50% of this long candle, and the second one will be just below at the open price of that candle. So now, if you feel comfortable, you can either close the position and you know how much you have. One of the tools that we should use is, the best thing is to record all these positions. And the best tool is Excel or OpenOffice or whatever you're using, and create the chart, create a spreadsheet with the information, like it's a date, time, the price, we open the position, what was the initial stop, and what's the profit of the position, what's the losses. And when you create that, you register every position, and every time you simulate your positions, it's very simple to use, to go back to this journal and review your strategy the way you see everything on the charts. But let's see what's going to happen next. As you can see, it was open, now it's closed the position with little profit. Now, as you can see, the price continue climb and comes to the 1.35 price, which for me indicates it's going to be strong resistance level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that position, and now I can register in my journal when I open the price. So that was here, 2017, May 6th, June 5th, I think. June 5th? Yeah, June 5th. And 1400 time. And my stop loss, initial stop loss was somewhere here. And there was 1.346. And I'm going to close the position right now because this indicates for me it's a strong move. Look, the previously was resistance. There was resistance as well. There was resistance here and resistance here. So this is indicating for me that that level was very strong resistance. So if I'm going to continue with this position, I may not obtain any profits. So by changing cursor from regular arrow to cross, we're going to be able to measure how much profit we made, and this is like 11 pips. That's just an example. So I can either close or see what's going to happen. Like you can see it's very strong, 60% of 60 level on RSI becomes strong upper resistance for downtrend. So if you aggressive trader, you can probably leave that and see what's going to happen, or you can just close the position below it. We know that this level is very strong, so we'll see what's going to happen. If you risk taker, you will probably let it go and wait for the level to be broke through it. Unfortunately, this is the situation, and we have a losing trade. So this is how you can manually test any of your strategy. There is some, this is very cumbersome of testing, but the problem is demo program, trading demo, it takes forever. Here we have sort of like a simulation of market, same as $200 separate software that is available, and this is for free, so we can't really complain if it's free and has some we have to fix sort of our trading. That's a different story, but it's free to do that. So basically I almost fail. I have like half a pip of profit, and well, let's see what happens next. So basically I can close that and wait for our position. Of course, this is the level. We know that there is a strong downtrend, so now I can open position from here, and stop loss will be just above it. We can see it's a strong initial swing. It's very strong, and this is a sort of comes to the situation. Let's see how far this this comes, and it's perfectly almost touching 50%. So as you can see, the 1.35 was very strong resistance level, and see what happened next. So we have open position at 1.34822, and our stop loss is 1.35025. So I changed the cursor to cross, and now I can see what is my stop loss is 20 pips. Of course, we can sort of use very quick tools. That was the 50%. So potentially we have we can measure to this, and potentially if we write, there should be stronger move to the downside. I'm gonna just keep that rectangle. I'm gonna change the color to orange. It's more visible. So potentially my target will be lower, but initial first target will be on that level. So let's see what happened. I'll continue looking on the market. Of course, we can use initial trend line. No, this trend line is no longer valid, and see what happened. Any situations that RSI start rising, or the candles start breaking through trend line, will be signal for me to close it position. So let's see what's going to happen next. I'll increase the speed a little bit. There we go. So as you can see, we already reached the first target. And sorry, that was possibility to reaching first target. We could close the position, but just like I am aggressive trader, I always wait for more possibilities, longer profits, see what's going to happen. See, on any move, there is always correction. Keep in mind that price never move in straight line, always have the corrections and so on. So we're trading on 1 hour chart, US dollar to Canadian dollar. Of course, we're right now in 1 a.m., which is the Asian time, and we'll see what's going to happen. So our profit almost it's nothing here. Our stop loss is higher. Of course, we can move the stop loss, and we have to record it, initial recording on the Excel sheet. As you can see, the prices start correcting. Okay, one of the things you're going to find if you use the trend lines in these situations, any position we're going to trade long in this, it's going to be very emotional trading because we're going against the trend. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to accelerate a little bit, see what happens. As you can see, RSI it's getting flat. We'll see what happens. The small candle indicating there is a small volume, trading volume. Any initial levels that we indicate we marked has to be break through initial decent candle length. So as you can see, I'm getting profit. I'll just stop it and move my stop loss to, let's say, break even or below it, and then I register on my Excel sheet and so on. So as you can see now, I have reach another level, which is 1.345, and this is potentially a second support level, and potentially there is a hammer creating right here on the candles. So I should be able to either close the position, or if you're an aggressive trader, let's see what happens. Yeah, there is a confirmation. Look what happened. There's a confirmation that this level again is a very strong level, and when you go and look the charts over here, as you can see, that level play very strong support previously. So I should be able to close that position right now, register that position. The level I open it, the price I open it, where was my initial stop loss, and so on. As you can see, there is a harami shows up because we have a one candle. There is a doji in between, and it's a very strong another candle opposite direction. As you can see, it's sort of okay. One more thing we can do when I traded RSI, when I use RSI, I always draw the trend line on the last peaks or valleys, and if it breaks through it, this is my initial point to close that position, signal to close the position. So as you can see, there's a potential of changing direction already. RSI is breaking through. Look at the long candle. Of course, we're ignoring this, what is happening here. But you have idea how to trade. As you can see, it's a strong move to the upside, and very clean, actually. So this is last keys, as you can see, and we're going to continue to opposite direction. So when you see these levels, when you mark the levels, you know exactly where you have to close your position or open the position, and so on. It's very simple tester, but help you to test your strategy without scrolling back your charts. And it's something that most of the traders don't use, but I strongly recommend start using this. And basically, when you make the journal of your trades, you will see how you perform, let's say in 100 trades. As you can see, you can do those trades within an hour or 2 hours, and you can test yourself. So that's the idea of having a manual test using that tester from MT4. Yeah, due to the fact that demo account takes forever to obtain the experience, and what you want to do is you want to get the experience in a short period of time, and within a month or 2 months, you're going to gain same amount of experience as you're going to gain with you trading your demo account for probably 7 months to 1 year, which accelerates you gaining experience, getting habits of recognizing the signals to close or open positions, and it's and then the second stage of the trading is become open real account and using your emotions. You control emotions, but that we're going to have another webinar about it. So that's how we can utilize this tester for our manual testing. And we can of course stop, and this will change. I don't know how to change the setup for this offline charts, but basically that's what you can see. Potentially there is, okay, let's say I'm gonna squeeze, and we're almost there. As you can see, we're almost there to reach a second target. Oh, let's see what happened. Oops. It's changing. So I'm using template. Okay, I'll accelerate. Okay, we have that situation here. And this is your speed that you can control. Oh, there you go. That was too fast. Anyway, you have the idea how this is supposed to look like. If you do automatic testing, it shows you also visually where they open positions and so on. You can get the report as I showed you. Now this time we have $828 gross profit, but gross loss is minus $2,000. And I don't like trading automatic systems. It makes no sense. And this is your graph, how you're progressing with the profit and losses. But that's not, we're not using that. For you, in order for you to stop showing on when you're testing manually your strategy, stop showing all these positions, basically you can put just very long spread, let's say 100 micro pips, and then you're not going to see this. Well, let's start again. Template, where's my template? The blank. Of course, I have initialized property of showing me ask price. I'm not interested right now. Basically, what I'm interested in is to see if my strategy is tested properly. Okay, let's move a little bit further, see if we can improve. No, it's still going there. Anyway, you have the idea of how to test, and very simple, and it's free. You don't have to spend $200. Of course, the tester for $200 are very advanced, but this this gives you idea to properly test and so on. Okay, any questions? Oops, I opened the wrong window. Questions, there's the questions. Okay. Okay, do you have any questions? I can answer this time. Testing is very important. You have to get the habit of recognize your signals, and don't rely on your memory. You have to have a plan. Just write a very simple plan, and then and use the journal. You're testing yourself. So basically, if you write, you're going to see the statistics. So let's say on 100 trades you made, you have profit on 80 trades and 20 was losses, and compare the comparing losses to profit. As you can see, how is you experience. So if you do, let's say, first stage 100 tests, and then the second stage another 100, and another 100, and that gives you idea if you well recognizing you signals from your strategy. So it's very simple way to test. Of course, next week, next Tuesday, we're going to talk about automatic trading, and I'm going to show you in details how to use that tester to test actual automatic programs. I'm not really a fan of it. I wrote by myself about 30 of those in the early stages of my trading, but none of them works properly. Keep in mind that market is changing, and so every few months you have to make the changes to your automatic program, EA, and then when you change that, by the time you change that, market can change again. You have to define all the conditions when you're writing the automatic program. You have to define conditions of when you're going to open position, what you're going to do when it's a flat market. Are you going to trade hours between which ones you're going to trade? Defining where is the volatility, where's the biggest volume on the market, and that's very, very difficult to do. You know, you can buy millions of those EAs on the market, but if they are so good, why are people selling for $99? Did you ever consider to find the answer to that? And most of them, you don't really know what kind of functions they're using. The base, you don't really know what indicators they're using, and it become black box, and that's very dangerous because you have to know how you're trading. That's my that's my idea of trading. I'm trading manually and mechanical trading, and I'm happy with it. I don't use automatic trading. Anyway, any questions?